Hello, everybody. It's Gary Stuckey with Real Music. Hope you're doing okay wherever you are today. It's a perfect time to listen to a podcast, and got a great one for you. I've got two awesome guests today. Yeah, 2-for-1 special. Uh, T.G. Sheppard and Kelly Lang are here today talking about their brand new album, a duets album called Chemistry. And there's a lot of chemistry involved in this album. Some great songs. Brand new song out right now by them, a cover of Celine Dion's song called Because You Love Me. And, that song really fits their life. And a lot of songs on this album do. I mean, really, really good songs. Need to check them out. T.G. Sheppard, of course, 22 number one hits in his career. That is crazy good. And Kelly Lang has got a lot of albums out and great songs, and she's also a songwriter for artists like Ricky Skaggs, Lori Morgan, the Oak Ridge Boys, Crystal Gale, George Jones, B.J. Thomas, just to name a few. And she wrote a book a few years ago called I'm Not Going Anywhere about her life and her overcoming breast cancer. Great and inspiring story. Uh, so check out that book if you get a chance. Really good. And but the new album, so good. A lot of great songs. Even Aerosmith songs on there. I'm just saying. I mean, what more do you want in a duets album? But so happy to talk to them. They're so talented and such a nice couple and an inspiration to me. But here we go. Here they are. Here's T.G. Sheppard and Kelly
I
Lang.
hear y'all have a brand new album out. Is that a rumor or what? Is that the truth? What happened?
Well, the new album is called Chemistry, Gary, and it was 2 years in the making. We had an album out a long time ago called Iconic Duets. It did very well, and people kept saying to us, "When are you going to go in the studio and do another duet project?" And so 2 years ago, we just kind of started it, and it took us a long time to finish it. We're afforded a great luxury of not having to be in a hurry and being dictated to by a label or management because we're all in the house.
Right.
So we took our time and put this together and picked our favorite songs of the past. And lo and behold, it's not a rumor. We have a new album called Chemistry.
Just came out on Friday, and yeah, that's pretty cool. And chemistry, when somebody says chemistry, I think of science class and an F. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
No, but chemistry is a good thing with two people. But when you're married, it makes a difference, right? So to have chemistry is a big deal when singing songs. So how did you come up with it? Obviously, you came up with it because the chemistry you two have, right?
Well, Kelly came up with the idea.
We were trying to come up with a one word that would describe not only the album music look of the album, but our relationship.
Yeah.
And not that we see it in particular, but we have so many times where people will go, man, I can just see the love between you two or the respect that you guys have. It's palpable. And I'm like, but what is that? And the only word I could come up with to define both of us would be that we have chemistry between each other. And it just seemed to just evolve and it really depicted the whole project.
Right. And, to have chemistry, it's one thing to have chemistry, but your voices have to sound good together. And of course, your voices do sound great together.
Well,
That's
thank you.
another thing, right? I mean, you have to be able to blend well. Was that part of the experience when you're recording? When you were recording the songs, did you notice how well you sounded on
Yeah.
these songs? Great songs, by the way.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Yeah, we noticed right away in the very beginning years ago that when we sang together, it was a good blend. Tone wise, when you put two voices together, sometimes they can rub the wrong way and not just really mesh. And we've been blessed for a long time to be able to realize that we do blend well and we have fun when we're recording. And I think a lot of that blend has to come with how much we're enjoying each other's vocals at the time we're doing them.
Sure. And it makes it more believable. A lot of times when people sing songs, they go, I want to sing this song. So they sing the song. It's like singing karaoke or something. But
Yeah.
you're living the song. So to live the song, that makes a big difference. And when people are listening to it, they go, hey, they're living the song. It's more believable, wouldn't you say? Right?
In particular, the song Still the One, which was the kickoff single that we had, it was never a duet. A lot of the songs that we recorded were never duets,
Right.
but we felt that the lyrics really lent to that. But Still the One was triggered me because when we first started dating, we had a lot of naysayers. They were like, "Oh, you'll never make it. That's
What do you think?
yeah, you should.
Yeah.
I'll give you a year, you know." And here we are 24 years later, you know, and in the music business, that's like an eternity. And I'm just really proud of that. And it's kind of like a drop the mic kind of moment when you sing that song, and it makes me giggle now. But, and because you loved me, you know, when we're recording it, you're in the trenches and you're learning the song, and musically, you're trying to get it all down. But when TG and I listened to it back in the studio after it was completed, both of us were in tears because the lyrics to that particular song is exactly how we feel about each other. And we've told each other through the years these exact lines in some sort of way, but we didn't realize the impact emotionally it would have on either of us.
You know, it's always hard when you're doing music remakes, it's hard to beat the originals, and we've never tried to do that. I mean, you can't out sing Celine Dion on a song. I'm sorry, you can't do it.
But she can't do a duet with Gigi Shepherd.
Well,
So
well,
well, she could.
she could, but if
Have
she
you
just
asked her yet?
called,
No.
I would take the call if she called.
Okay.
But we really and truly tried to make each and every song our own, and I think sometimes the blend of vocals together make it its own sound. And so
Right.
we tried to pick the songs that we really and truly felt were woven into the fabric of our lives. And
Sure.
I like the selection of songs we picked on this album.
And some of them were not country to begin with. With you know, they were like Carole King's "Too Late, Baby" or "Kiss You All Over" was kind of a crossover, or whatever. But
Right.
some of these, I think, were a bit more pop to begin with. But we added, I guess, our country or flair with our twang. But,
Bless your
well,
heart.
bless your heart.
That's
But
right.
it was so much fun to record, and it, like you said, we took a long time to do it, and we cherished every moment we had in the studio because it was just a labor of love, really.
Right. Um, and you were talking about Still the One, the second verse, uh, when it says, ain't nothing better, we beat the odds together.
Yes.
And you were talking about people saying, you're never going to make it. Look at you're in country music. They get divorces every other day, and I know you overcame cancer and you're a survivor like for 20 years now, right?
Almost 20 in December, yeah.
And see, y'all beat those odds together. And to me, that stuck in my mind when I was listening to that. I was like, wow, there ain't nothing better than beating odds together. Look at what people say about your relationship. Look what the devil says about your health and says you're not going to make it. Look what your own self says sometimes. Sometimes you don't believe in yourself. You're like, I got to get out of this little negative slump. I got to believe.
You mentioned
Right?
cancer. You mentioned cancer, and the strange thing about cancer is that when your spouse or your partner in life goes through it, you actually are going through it together. It really is an emotional roller coaster for the spouse who doesn't have the cancer. We might not feel the pain that the person who has it feels, but we feel the emotions. And so therefore you lean on each other because you really emotionally are on a roller coaster. And God's been very, very revealing to us during that time to heal Kelly and keep her healthy for almost 20 years. So it just prioritized our lives even more to realize what was important and what wasn't important when you hear the big C word.
Right.
However, he pretended like, oh, we've got this. I got you. You're going to be just fine. And I did not know he was shaking in his boots underneath it all. I just believed him. So
Well,
it was a good thing that he was, acting strong, but he revealed later that it was scary to him as well.
well, you have to support, each other. And sometimes that comes in the form of lifting your partner up.
And you're the best at that.
Oh,
He is.
Awesome. That's awesome. I'm telling y'all are living the songs. you know, what courage isn't the absence of fear. It just means that, you're strong enough to go and fight and, um, you know, and believe in yourself. The fact that he said that he was, and you said he was scared, but didn't show it. That's love. That's showing he didn't want anything to keep you down or make you think that you weren't. And he did believe that you were going to make it. It's just that
Oh, I
that's
did.
right. That's a big deal to face something. We've all been in the situation at some point where we're like, I don't know what to do. Of course you're gonna be afraid, but it's just one of those things that you gotta
My
Well,
face.
favorite thing, one of our conversations that we had, it was very a poignant. I guess it was a turning point in our relationship. We had just been dating. We weren't engaged. We weren't, considering marriage at the time that I was diagnosed. I was a single mom of two little girls. He chose to step up and take care of 5 and 9-year-old, and they were not easy children. Oh my goodness. But I was going through cancer treatments. I was green and bald. I had no lashes or hair or eyebrows, and I just had scars all over me. And for him to see beauty in me and to see a warrior and somebody that he said he thought was beautiful when I clearly was not. Um, a lot of men take off during times like that. A lot of men just like, "Ooh, I'm out of here." I gave him every right to leave, and here's the door. It's your time to go. The fact that he did not is shocking. I mean, he's PG Sheppard. He's loved him everyone. It's party time. That kind of
Right.
thing. The average person would think that he would be out of there, and the respect that I have for him from that, it wasn't the only reason I loved or respected him, but it really sealed the deal to me of what a wonderful man this was. And I was very blessed to have him.
well,
Right.
too, when you realize that your wife or partner in life has a life-threatening situation going on, it draws you closer.
Oh,
It
yeah.
it makes you realize that really and truly every moment, every minute, every week, every month, every year that you have together is just
It's precious.
yeah, it's so special. And
Yeah.
you learn to live life in a different way. You learn to live life much more appreciative. And Kelly has said many times that going through cancer for her was a blessing because it prioritized her life.
I like to say, a lot of people say that's a death sentence, but I turned it around. Chose to make it my life
I
sentence.
love that.
It's like that was the moment that I pushed reset and I learned to look at things more appreciatively and I lived larger and I use the good candles and use the good sheets and eat off good china and I
Right.
just learned
And
to live boldly.
use the credit card more. Shopping.
Well,
Yeah,
Why
right.
not?
You
Why
gotta
not?
you gotta splurge. You gotta go for it. You just
Sure
gotta
you
go.
do. Yeah.
Life is short. But hey, y'all are an example of people. Now, are y'all gonna maybe y'all need to write this book together about how, relationships and then kind of combine all of your ideas of what you've gone through and
we
kind of help.
we've been asked to do that, but I don't know. We're not an authority
Well, you
on
wrote a book.
that.
You wrote your book.
Yeah, I wrote a book about my experience with cancer, and he has a chapter in there regarding that particular thing. But I wouldn't ever want to give the impression that we have it all figured out or we have the perfect relationship. No, nobody's perfect. Nothing is as shiny and bright as you would like for it to
Yeah.
be. But um, boy, do we have learned a lot. I wouldn't want to. I'd like to live by example instead of going, "This is what you do,"
Well,
Right.
your book that also entitled "I'm Not Going Anywhere."
hmm
Olivia Newton-John wrote the foreword. Her dear friend Olivia, who we lost recently, you learned a lot from her,
I
and
did.
hopefully someone that may read your book may learn something from you and pay it
Yeah,
forward.
that's my dream. That would be to have letters written to me from people that have read it and said, "Wow, you've inspired me." That really is special to me. That holds me at night because it meant that it was not in vain.
Right.
I didn't go through all of that for nothing. I might have helped somebody that goes through that, and I wish I had had somebody like myself to say, you're going to make it. It's going to be okay. I wish I had somebody like me when I was going through that. TG was that for me. But I didn't have a cancer survivor to look forward to see how that was to be played out.
Right. You just had to lean on faith
I
and
did.
God to keep going, right?
I
And
did. I did. I've lived such a huge life though since then, and have seen so many things come to fruition. And um, man, I'm just so grateful. Just so grateful.
right. And I understand that. Um, well, when you're singing duets though, and you're singing when you're recording, I know it's fun to record music, and you're talking about some of these songs now. I was thinking about you got an Aerosmith song on there, right?
Yeah.
Don't want to miss a thing. Now, see, that's you're not good unless you do an Aerosmith song. I'm just saying. So was that a fun song to do? And by the way, that's one of my favorites. Really, it's
It
really
was,
Thank you.
it was a fun song to do, but when you're doing duets, a lot of people don't realize that you're dealing with two voices.
It's like
right.
two
Yeah.
recordings,
And a lot of times, a lot of artists don't sing in the same key. So it's very different for one or the other to sing on a song. So therefore, in songs you hear key changes of modulations to a higher note or to a lower note when the other one comes in to sing. So they're more comfortable. So there's a lot that goes into doing duets, but I think you're right. I'm an Aerosmith fan anyway. So
we didn't do
Right.
all the screaming that Stephen did, but
Yeah, right. That'll be the next album. You can scream.
might as
Oh,
well.
right.
but a lot of these songs were single artist songs that we felt just lent itself to a duet, and it worked. It worked.
Right. That, it really did work. Um, and what keys now? I know people have different ranges and sound good together, at certain times, but y'all two, have been singing together for a while. What keys do you sing in? What's your comfortable key? I'm just wondering.
We don't know.
You
I
don't know? Throw it out there.
I sing really low for a female vocal. Matter of fact, I sing in the same key Kenny Rogers sings in.
Yeah.
So a lot of times TG and I would not have to switch the gears up on the keys and songs. Um, generally, generally I would sing in more of a male's key and through the whole album, I would think, wouldn't you say?
Well, yeah, but it also depends on the song
Yeah,
because
my range is
your
okay.
range is different on certain
Yeah.
songs. If it's a ballad, sometimes you can get away with a higher key. And if it's an up-tempo key, sometimes it's a little hard because you're screaming it. You have to back it down to a different key. So it really depends on the song itself as to what key you're most comfortable singing in.
We are very different in the studio though, Gary.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
like totally opposite. I'm a fly by the seat of my pants kind of artist. I weirdly innately know the lyrics to a lot of songs. Like if I've heard it once, I can basically know the song. Hang on. And TG, God bless him, has to see the lyrics written down, specific lyrics. So sometimes he'll ask me to type up the lyrics and I will type them incorrectly on purpose just to trip him up to see if he will sing the wrong things.
And I'll sing what's on there.
And he does.
Yeah.
So I'm so sorry for McCoppin.
See, now the realness is coming out. The little things you do, the truth
Yeah.
is coming.
I like to mess with him in the studio because he's very analytical. He's very black and white, and I'm like purple, grays, reds, yellows.
Everything with you is off the top of your head.
Yeah.
Amazing.
You can tell by the way I record by my hairstyle. So it's just
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
15.
That has to get you though in a mood, to without being so serious. A lot of these songs you're singing and you're in that mood. You're in the loving mood or maybe a funny mood, but it kind of brings out your voice. I think when you're in a better mood, as opposed to just I'm gonna I'm gonna record these songs and it's gonna and you're somber or something or you're too serious. You gotta have some.
And we laugh all the
Oh
time.
gosh, yeah. We believe in laughter. That's the greatest medicine in the world for whatever ails you at the time.
I mean, it gets long hours. It's intense to record an album. Like I said, it's like recording two separate albums because there's two artists and two
Right,
personalities.
right.
Um, I must give credit to Buddy Hyatt. He's our engineer and he has a lot of patience for
Oh,
us.
man.
So I would come in and go, here's an idea that I have. And he's like, oh boy, here we go again, and he reads my mind. Thank goodness he can. And then TG has had such experience in the studio. I'd love that you just kind of relinquish ideas and powers to Buddy or myself or
Sure.
whatever. And it's just a good team. It's just a fun team.
Well, Buddy, of course, our engineer, and a great musician and also a great record producer, was in a group called Toto. So he has
Well,
gigantic talent because that was one of the finest groups was ever put together of studio musicians. And so we're honored to be able to work with Buddy, and he kind of leads us. He's kind of the trail boss on the show, and we listen
He's
closely
more
to
like a
each other.
circus wrangler.
Yeah, yeah,
I think that's
yeah.
what it is.
that's good. Uh, you know, and I know TG, you've been around a while. You've been in that studio a long time, which you have too, Kelly. But do you ever play that card? Say, I've been around for so many years. You kind of lay it out and say, this is how I do, or you just kind of go with the flow. Because I mean, you have a lot of experience in that field. What do you say?
I really and truly lean on her. I believe that her opinion is just as important as mine, although I may have been doing it longer. Uh, Her perspective on things is totally different than mine. If men would listen to females more, we'd be in a lot better shape than we are.
You
Uh,
heard it first, people, right
I'm
here.
telling you, Kelly is
I'm proud. I'm proud that you're saying this out loud. I'm
well,
loving this.
Did you pay him earlier? Did
all
you
right.
pay him to say that? No,
No,
that's good.
She
That's
really,
really good.
she really and truly is a master at being in the recording studio. That's her happy place. Creating in the studio is probably one of the places where I really see her thrive. And so therefore, I never play the I've been doing it longer, I know more than you card.
but out of respect for him, I also am extraordinarily aware of who he is. And I have great respect for him. And if I have an opinion and he has a stronger opinion, I'm happy to bow down to that because why would I argue with success? I mean, my goodness, he's had 22 number ones. Who am I to tell him? But we bounce off each other really well,
Yeah,
ideas, and we have great respect for each
it's a
other's
mutual
opinions.
admiration
It
society
is.
when you're in the studio together. You have to have the respect for each other to make it work.
Yeah.
And to be able to sit down when it's all done and listen to it back, you can feel that respect and that camaraderie and that chemistry, which there's that word again. You feel it because we really and truly work as partners. We don't. There's no competition with she and I when it comes to being in the studio recording or even doing a concert date together.
Right. Well, see, you just gave examples of a perfect marriage. I'm just saying, in the
Not
studio. Oh, come on.
Not
No,
Pretty
but
perfect.
close.
It's pretty close.
but
I was just asked a
that's awesome.
question in an interview right before you. She was saying, Kelly, you have all these titles. You're producer, writer, singer, songwriter, blah, blah, blah. What encompasses you the most? Like what of those titles would you say is mostly you? And she didn't mention my favorite thing that I am, and I love being a wife. I cherish that more than anything I do. And it holds me at night. If I've
That's
done well as a wife that day, my day's best.
Wow.
that's
I'll have
really good. Y'all are saying some really nice things to each other.
to,
That's nice. That's really nice. But like I said earlier about the songs, when you're living the songs, doesn't that seem so much better when you're singing and it's real and you're on stage and you're looking, it's not like you're doing a duet with some guy that you met, a couple
right,
of times. We're gonna do a duet. This is your husband.
right.
I've got a funny thing to tell you though. When
Sure.
TG and I first started singing together, like on stage together, and still to this day, we have never performed on stage together that one or the other has not made a mistake lyrically, or where we step in front of each other, or our mic stands or chords get messed up.
Get the words.
Oh man, we it's a nightmare. It's like, because it's two independent artists that are trying to look like they are comfortable choreographed, and so I was expressing this frustration to Olivia Newton-John, and I wasn't even thinking about her being the greatest duet partner in the world on Grease, or all these other things that she's done. And I was just expressing to her a show that we had coming up, and that we make mistakes, and she goes, "This is ridiculous." She was getting ready to do a residency at the Flamingo in Las Vegas. And she says, "Will you go out and walk my dog with me?" So TG and I walked her dog with her, and nobody even paid attention because she was not on Olivia Newton-John,
She was under the radar.
She was under the radar, yes. So she says, "Okay, TG, you stand there. Kelly, you stand there." And this is on the steps of the entrance of the Flamingo. Okay, so when Kelly sings 2 sentences, she needs to turn backwards and kind of lean into you, and you need to put your arm around her, and then you need to put your mic stand in front of her and walk around her, and don't ever walk in front of her. And I'm like, where are the cameras? Somebody needs to film this. This is priceless, But it's so funny because every time, I can't speak for you, but every time I'm on stage with him, all of her words go through my head.
Oh yeah, mine too.
And I think of the way she's told me to walk around. It's so sweet to have that direction from somebody that huge.
We miss her.
Oh man, I miss her terribly.
Dearly, every day we miss her.
I'm sure you do. That's some great memories right there. But with all that, though, talking about being on stage and some of the comic relief would be messing up. And has there ever been a time where it was just so crazy and embarrassing, or something happened and you're like, I can't believe that just happened?
Yeah, just 3 weeks ago, we were on stage in McMinnville, Tennessee. We had done a 2-hour sound check, maybe longer, 2.5-hour sound check. And I'm not a big sound check guy. He loves sound checks. To me, sound checks are worthless because it never sounds like it's ever going to sound on stage as it did in sound check. So anyway, I had made this big speech. I don't like them. They're a waste of time. And he goes, "Kelly, it's important to do them. We got to get out there and do these." I was like, okay. So we get out on stage, and he's already done his part of his show, and he's called me out. The mic's completely turned off. So they bring me another mic. That mic's completely turned off, and I go, "See, this is what I said." Yeah. So we make light of it. It's just kind of funny, and the audience laughs.
I think the audience that comes to see you perform wants to see somebody who's real. And it's okay to mess up because it shows that you're real.
We always do. So we must be really, really good at
that. We're real.
Y'all are real. And this is real music. Hey, and the chemistry is there, the love is there. That's real. But the new album, Chemistry, great album, by the way. A lot of good songs on there. And I think your fans are already loving it. Tell us how you can get that album.
Well, you can go to tgsheppard.com or kellylang.net for an autographed copy.
I'm old school. I like holding it to see the light.
We enjoy signing them. And but if you just want to go download it, anywhere music is streamed or sold, you can pick up a copy of the album. But we invite people to go to our websites to get an autographed copy, and we'll get it right out to you. Or follow us on our socials, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and go to our YouTube channels and check out videos of stuff that we're putting up each week. And be sure and punch the subscribe button when you go there. So social media is a wonderful tool in this day and time to reach a lot of people in a short amount of time.
Sure. You're reaching people all over the world, and that's good. Couldn't do that 50 years ago, right?
No.
But thank you all for being here today. It's great to talk to you, and I'm looking forward to hearing more from y'all, and hope all the best to you. And some great stories today. I'm glad y'all.
Great visiting with you today.
Take care, for your time.
And we hope to do it again soon.
We shall. Hey, thank y'all. Y'all have a great day.
You too, Gary. See you soon.
All right. Bye.
And there you have it. T.G. Sheppard and Kelly Lang with a brand new album out. You need to check it out. It's called Chemistry, and you will find it lives up to its name. Thanks for checking me out today, and I'll be back with you very soon. Always remember to keep the music real